Welcome to the Bigger Play where the rubber meets the road and we get straight to it. Again, a good one. Last night, we went for like 6 hours, so this will be a 3-part. Are women single by choice, or is it that they cannot have the man that they want, or they can't keep the man they want? Let's get straight to it. ASAP. Come on, Miss Bliss, talk to us.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I had a conversation with somebody today, and she tried to convince me that she was single by choice. Once I started asking her some questions, though, we found out the truth. She's single because the people that she wants don't approach her. Men don't approach her, period. And she tries to come off like she's picky, but it's not that she's not. I told her you're not picky. You're just not being picked, and it's okay. Let's just keep it real. So no, I never believe when women say they're single by choice. I never believe it. It's always a backstory that they're not going to be willing to share. I'll land my plane.
Wow. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, sweetheart. We got to go and give it to you. Come on, Stack. Talk to me, man.
Ladies take this one until
Okay.
later. Well, I give it up until afterwards. You know what I'm saying? You give me later.
Thank you, young fella. Well, Miss Tanisha, if you want to speak, or Miss Christina, or Miss Shakira, or Miss Keisha, any one of you ladies want to speak to the topic?
Well, I'm married, so
I
I
don't
really
think that.
can't
Oh, go ahead.
speak on that.
Who? Somebody was speaking. Anybody could speak. Then just pass the mic to the next
Okay,
person.
I'll go ahead and go. I don't think that anyone is really single by choice because I think as humans, we're not meant to be alone. And I think that when women are single, and they're single for a very, very, very long time, they never look inwardly and decide why they're single. And they always come back to the same conclusion. Well, I want to be single. I don't think you want to be single. I just think that no one is wanting to be with you. And so you're never really single by choice because who chooses to be alone in a world full of people?
So I have a lot of clips out where the woman always for years be like, I'm single by choice. I can have anybody I want if I want it. So two ladies that just spoke sound like you guys are really transparent and telling the truth. Again, if y'all hear any noise from my background, I need y'all to let me know because I don't want to be interrupted in the live, but I got there's some good energy, a good breeze coming through. Come on, I see you came off the mic, sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just
I
wanted to
know
say
women.
real quick that
Who are you talking to?
when I'm sorry.
Huh?
Oh, I was
Uh,
just going to say that in following up on something you said that's really big. When you said, what you hear some women say, I can have anybody I want. If that's the case, we can have any home we want. We can have any car we want. You can only have what you can afford, what your value is, what the value is. Because who on earth could have anything they want and don't go get it? Come on now, make that make sense. I'll land my.
make it make sense. Make it make
And not when
sense.
and when I heard you say that, I heard like I think that women interpret that like I can sleep with who I want, and you can sleep with multiple people and never have them.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who want to speak next? Miss Tanisha, lifted by Christina.
All
Come
right,
on.
so I have to agree with the ladies. Yeah,
Go ahead, babe.
I think we got it. We
My
losing.
bad. My phone, somebody was calling. No,
Okay.
you're
All
not
right.
single. You're not single by choice. Nobody's single by choice. You're single because you can't get what you want. So I agree with them. I totally agree with them. Like
All
she
right.
said, if that's the case, you can go get any car you want. I agree. I agree.
Ooh, y'all
Nobody's
keep
single
it
by choice.
real. Okay.
Well, anytime they say that, I cringe a little bit. I'm like, no, you just single to what you want. Not you can sleep with anybody. But to get
Period.
somebody to actually take you serious, they have to actually want you back. I mean, that's why I never go with anybody that says anything like that. I just kind of turn my head, laugh a little bit, and turn my head because I'm like, no, you're not.
Anybody else want to speak before I chime? Go ahead, Mr. Nisha. You want to speak?
Yeah, so I was gonna say that I agree, but then also I'm just gonna speak like for myself.
Come
There was
on.
a time where I was in a very long term relationship. So there was a period of a time where I had to rediscover who I was, and I did choose to be single. It wasn't like I wasn't talking to people or you know what I mean like that, but there was a portion where I kind of did say, you know what, I'm not choosing right now really to get that because I've been with somebody for 7 years and the world's changed. You know what I mean? I gotta kind of figure out the new dating round of who I am after 7 years again, 7 years by myself. So that was a choice for a certain amount of time because I was getting myself together. But we all want somebody, you know what I mean? We all want a companion. But I think that at some people, there are some portions in their life where they just got to be single because of maybe what they're trying to accomplish.
There you go. That was my. See, you picked it. See,
That's
I should have.
that's called a choice not to date right there. Because I think there's a difference when you choose to be
But
single and a choice not to date. I think it's two different things.
Okay, you guys have an interaction because I was going to try to throw a caveat out there. You know, it's always a caveat, but I like the sister speaking to that point. She took the words out of my mouth. So we're going to hold you accountable, Mr. Niche. I need you and Stack to go back and forth a little bit so I can learn a little bit.
I agree with what she just said, and I just put it in kind of layman's terms. She is right.
I know, I know. I want to. You know,
Yeah,
I like both of y'all perspectives. So Mr. Niche,
yeah,
what you have to build?
yeah. Tanisha.
no, I'm here. I was letting him. He was talking. So you guys are. Yeah, I was just listening. But no, what I was saying, like, it just really just depends on the situation. And when you say dating, when you're to me dating, I'm not in a relationship with someone, so I am still single. To me, in my kind of definition, where I see as dating is getting to know this person or a one or two, just feel like if this is a person that I do want to continue to now be in a relationship with. So I do believe, even if I am dating or talking to somebody, that I am still single. But it just means that for me, I knew that I couldn't put all my energy into what someone deserved at that time because that wasn't my focus at that point.
I agree with that, and I'm glad most of the ladies really got open mind to like to know what's going on as far as like being accountable. Because some women be so like I can have like she said I can have anybody I want. I'm just not. I don't want to deal with nobody. And that's so false. And if I was that type of, if my ego was that inflated, I could say the same thing. I could be like, and
Absolutely.
I know I can't have every woman I want because it's just not realistic to say I can go out there and get any woman I want because there's levels to it actually. And I think a lot of dating happens in like social classes and really your tax bracket when you break everything down.
So you mean to tell me I'm not gonna be able to say nothing tonight because you and this young lady just taking the words out of my mouth? Y'all wrong.
You know what I mean? We know
This ain't gonna be a
like-minded
chance.
people.
There's no reason for me. Okay, y'all might well just take on over since y'all take. I don't have nothing else to say right now. Who next? Um,
Got you quiet on him.
got me quiet because they taking everything I wanted to say. I,
We got you, didn't we?
I didn't. So I people tell me things different. They be in the inbox cussing me out all in the comments. If you guys look, I mean, you can see, but you all, it's a lot of mature people on the panel. I wanted to paint it from a different. I wanted to paint from a different perspective, but I want to let everybody else speak. Urban etiquette lifted, and Shakira, Miss Shakira, we haven't heard you speak. So if you want to speak, you can speak, and then we'll let Urban and Lifted get to it.
She
What you
did. She
got?
said she was married, so she really couldn't.
No, that was Keisha, I think.
No,
Miss
that
Keisha.
that was Shakira, but I
Okay.
mean, I'm married too, but I have a perspective.
I mean, I am, but I didn't say whatever is being attributed to me.
Okay, well, if any one of you ladies want to speak, you can go ahead till the rest of us start cooking. Oh, lift it. You want to go?
Yeah,
I was saying that I'm married too, but I still have a perspective.
Oh no, I ain't.
go
I didn't know.
ahead,
I didn't know.
go ahead,
We
Emmy.
let,
I didn't say I
we
didn't
let
have perspective. I just chose not to say anything.
okay, okay. That's these blue
Maybe,
lines.
maybe
Kira,
somebody else is
I don't
hot.
think that was a shot at you, love.
No, it wasn't a shot.
Yeah, but if I may say anything about this,
We
I
got it.
think
We can't hear you good,
Can't
brother.
hear
You got to
you.
try to come up just a little bit.
yeah, I think sometimes people they try to
Can we
tell you
hear the
that.
brother? Can we hear him?
Can you guys hear me?
Muffled a little bit. It's not really
It's
clear.
low. It's kind of low, brother.
It's still not clear.
That's
Now,
better.
yep.
Is it better now?
You went back down.
Now you be back underwater.
Okay, we'll try to wait. Let the brother.
Can you
We'll
hear me
let the
now?
brother come back. Are you back, brother?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear
Kind
me?
of.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me. I think I'll have to drop and come back up.
I can't hear,
Is your
brother.
phone upside down? Your picture's upside down?
He said
That's
he's
y'all
he said he's
wrong.
going back up.
But
Don't do the man. Don't do the man like.
No, messing with him.
sound like he was talking up, like a cup was on top of him or something.
So Urban, can you want to speak to the topic, brother, or are you just listening right now?
No, I could give a little semi insight from, you know what I'm saying, a different side of the coin.
Come on, I like my brothers coming through from the East Coast, man.
A lot of chicks are single by choice because they can't keep the man that they want, man. You know what I mean? Due to, you know what I mean, personal endeavors. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Independence is
So then is
cool.
it really by choice?
You know what I'm saying? They cool. You know what I mean? This and that and the third, but a lot of times it's disposition, discernment, attitude keeps them single. You know what I mean? And no matter what, you know, how much some females can like a man, they just let their past exuberate out their mouth. You dig what I'm saying? You know, there's women who, you know what I mean, want to work on themselves, take that time out, cool. But the rest of them, or a lot of others, they don't know what it takes, man. Because they always put themselves forward rather than putting, you know what I mean, possibly that man forward if they really want him. You know what I mean? It takes a certain type of humbleness in order to keep a man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women nowadays ain't like our grandmothers or certain types of aunts or whatever. But then you have those certain types of aunts that just, oh, I don't need a man and this and that because I'm independent. Then do you? You know? Don't call me if something needs fixing or you need help with something. Why? Because you independent. That's what independence brings. You know what I mean? Men are independent. You know what I'm saying? We a lot of men, you know, a lot of men, we have to take that time out to get ourselves right in order to deal with women. You know, a lot of women don't because beauty and brains are two separate categories, and a lot of women don't have an equal playing field. I mean, a lot of them don't have a full deck. You know what I'm saying? Or they just playing with jokers and 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 and
Yeah,
just don't. You know, what I mean, they just some of them just don't have it to keep a man because they're not. They never saw possibly of great relationships or relationships in their life, or they come from certain types of household where that got tattooed into their brain, branded in their brain. So you know, a lot of chicks are single by, I wouldn't say by choice. They just single because no man is willing to put up with their shit. You know,
Okay. Let me try to throw a monkey wrench in there for the ladies. Is it true that some women can be genuinely happy and fulfilled without a mate? This is a question for the ladies. Is this true? And if so, okay, go ahead. If so, go ahead.
I'm gonna say yes.
Don't all talk at once.
I
Don't all talk at once. Come on.
I'm
no,
saying
I was gonna say yes. Again,
yes.
depending on the situation, because I think that depending on the woman's past, maybe she's had a traumatic experience. Maybe she was married, the husband passed away, and that's just not something that she's interested in doing anymore. I don't think that she never tried.
Well, would that be genuine though, or would that be she's conflicted based on what happened to her? Genuine meaning I'm pushing the man to the side, and I'm literally happy going against nature, which makes us both be together. Have women adopted that type of philosophy, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Yes, but I don't think it's the right philosophy. I think that we are. I don't like to say that when I say this, I don't mean it like this, but like women aren't equal to men because I don't think in a sense that we're not, but I think that we have gotten so caught up in maybe trying to emulate some things that men do that we did forget. Like, okay, maybe we can't move like that all the time, or it's not necessary for us to do that. Uh, but I still think that it can be a choice. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't mean that she's not happy. Like, I do think that at some point, like for prime example, my grandmother, after my grandfather passed away, I just don't think that that was something. I know it wasn't because she said it. You know, I'm just not interested in that anymore.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if your grandma could have had the perfect man she wanted, do you think she would have chose him, or she would have stayed single?
Honestly, I think given because my grandmom's age and her generation, she was just gonna stay loyal to my grandfather.
Did you ever ask her something like that or not?
I did, but I like honestly, I think that she was waiting for my grandfather because he got sick and passed away unexpectedly.
Wow. Okay. Let me close this one.
So yeah.
If
Now, I'm not
that's
going to say that in her lifetime she never had. I do remember her having another, but we didn't really see that. She didn't bring him around, but we kind of knew. But at a later age, it was, my grandfather, and he passed away unexpectedly. So I think that she lived the last 15 years now living with my parents, raising her grandkids, great grandkids, that she really was happy without really having a mate at her age.
She
Okay.
filled the house with other kind of compensation of love, like probably
Exactly.
family. So a
Hmm.
lot of people, a lot of people do that. That's why you can see people getting dogs and cats, because
I'm gonna
dogs
say
are
they
so.
not. I'm gonna say they not genuinely happy then, Stack, because a dog can't replace a human. It can
Hold on now, hold on.
Oh
Them dogs been
no,
replacing humans, bro. Let me tell you why I believe they can.
loyalty.
Let me tell. That's right. She hit the key. Loyalty. Listen, bro. One time I was dating this woman, and she had this dog that was a real fierce dog, right? I wasn't even a dog person. But the dog was a girl, it was a pit bull, and the dog gravitated towards me. And it showed me so much affection more than her. When we broke up, I was like, give me that goddamn dog. You know what I'm saying?
crazy.
Because them dogs are so loyal, bro, and they sense everything. The
He
dog
said
used
the
to sense
dog
when
was
I was
more
in a
loyal
bad
than her.
mood
Damn.
and come over there and comfort me. I was in love with the dog, bro.
That's an ill dynamic, man. Like the dog more affectionate than the woman? That's crazy.
This the
Yeah,
problem
that's
you
true,
got with
bro.
this the
That was
problem
hell
you
of
got
true.
with dogs though. This is why you can't replace a human. You can't have intercourse. You can't have an intellectual conversation. It's other things if you guys want to deal with those right there. You can't have a human experience as far as growing together. You can't have a vision together. You can't get wealthy together. The dog is just going to soothe you because you're missing this big piece over here.
So what's the point?
I mean, you can't refute it.
Listen,
Whoever
exchange.
that
Like some people try to accomplish. Listen, some people's nature, they want to take care of something. That's why you see a lot of grandmothers and mothers when they like say somebody passed away, they would go get. Like I know this lady, right? All her kids went out the nest, and she didn't have nobody in the nest. She went and got a goddamn monkey, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a show because her nature was taken care of. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, man. I mean, I don't say that you can have a complete fulfillment, but it's perspective. It's subjective because you don't know, man. Like some of these women trade that empty nest for a pet, and they feel compensated.
Yo, you know what's crazy, Stat? Right? When my grandfather died, right? He died in 82. And my grandmother would be in the Caribbean by herself. You know what I'm saying? Straight by herself in her crib. Everybody's up here damn near. You know what I'm saying? And she would be there for like, I remember one time in my life, she was there for like 5 years straight. You know what I mean? just her in the crib. Now, mind you, she came from a full house, and then it became empty. And she working on the crib, this and that. Now, mind you, my grandmother was born 1909, and my grandfather died in 82. You know what I mean? So, like Shorty said, her loyalty to her man, and then also not really trying to find a supplement. Dig what I'm saying? Because she's too old. You know what I mean? So she was so in tune with herself that she didn't need anything else. She been there, done that. You dig what I'm saying? She lived through the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, part of the 80s with her man, and then he passed on. So she's like, you know what I mean? I'm too old to try to find a new love. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna hold it down, deal with, you know what I'm saying, my children, my grandchildren, and that's just what it is. So to me, it really depends on how vital your willpower is to a certain extent, if that makes sense. Because it's like, yeah, again, like what I said, like what Shorty said, her tenacity of living, that she just kept herself busy. You know what I'm saying? And she taking care of a whole house by herself. She in the back, she picking weeds, she doing this, she doing her own laundry, and she doing laundry by hand. You feel me? You know what I mean? Tending to I got all types of fruits and vegetables in the back. You know what I'm saying? Living up on a mountain and shit. She dealing with all that shit. But she knows how to she know how to just deal with herself. And a lot of females can't deal with themselves that much. That's why they get that supplement.
And I can guarantee you, she probably was truly happy in her last days and had joy from doing that.
Yeah,
Just that.
she lived to be like, you know what I mean? She lived to be 96, and she passed right probably a couple years before Obama. Like, she's seen the whole 19th century. Dig what I'm saying? She been through world wars, all types of stuff. So she was like, you know what I mean? Like, her core was so strong, but yet she was still so sweet. You know what I mean? Like, I give an example to somebody, like my grandmother was 30 years old when The Wizard of Oz came out, and that shit came out in 1939. You know what I mean? So, and then, but also coming back and forth to America. You dig what I'm saying? But on a crazy note, my grandmother's from Virginia. You know what I mean? And my grandfather was, you know what I'm saying, a Caribbean dude. And she stayed out there and came back and forth. You understand what I'm saying? So her mentality on stuff was like, I'm gonna live peacefully here by myself. People, if anybody could come down. But yeah, we had family, you know what I mean, in town and all that. But she, at the end of the day, she was just, I'm trying to find the word, but she was just, I guess, that strong where she just handled things on her own, in
I,
quiet and solitude. It takes a strong person to deal with solitude without being locked up.
I think I haven't heard just the support, the commitment to their spouse. Most of
Talking about, I mean, when it gets to like that.
my grandparents on both sides were married forever, and it was just I couldn't imagine being married to anyone else. So, and I think that there was some like one on the side, that they spent time with when one of them died, but it was never brought, I think someone said brought around. They were never brought around as the mate, right? Out of respect for their spouse that they had been with for so many years. And I think out of respect for the family, because the family saw the two of them together all the time. And I think even though you want them to be happy, but no one can replace your grandfather or your grandmother. So seeing them with someone else after being with somebody for 50, 60 years, that's a little odd to see, right? So I think out of respect for their loved one that they were with for so long, they refused to bring someone. Oh, you're not drinking your Fiji. I'm used to you drinking the water. Anyway, I'm sorry.
I had it. So lately I've been going twice and I've been up to like 2 or 3 in the morning. So I've been kind of tapping out a little earlier than I usually do. And I usually be out moving around. So I've just been trying to spend a little more time. So I got a little Red Bull. I ain't gonna be drinking it because I just been trying to spend a little more time. So I got a little Red Bull. I ain't gonna be drinking it because I know it's not good for you. But
No.
I probably drink it twice, 2 or 3 times a year. I'm gonna drink a few though, just to try to see if it'll help me with my energy a little bit.
I'm just used to you seeing you with the Fiji constantly with the water, so that I was like, "Whoa, that ain't the Fiji." But anyway, and so I think it becomes out of respect and admiration for their loved one. I remember my grandmother's sister said her husband was top shelf. She said he was top shelf. There'll never be another one. So she would never ever go be with another man because there was no one who could compare to her husband.
I
So
believe that.
yeah, and you know, you think about like Coretta Scott King, she never married. Why? I don't know. But sometimes, you know, you have such an admiration for that spouse, you don't want to give someone else that title. And it's just out of respect and love, and it's not necessarily that you're just so happy about it, but just the love and admiration for that one that you were with for so many years. It's not worth bringing somebody else in with that title.
That sound like Bumpy Johnson's wife. I knew somebody that knew Bumpy Johnson's wife, and she said the same thing. When you have the best, there's nothing more. There's nothing you can't top that. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Terry, come on, man. Where you at?
Personally, I think.
I hear y'all. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's going on?
What up, E? What's popping, boy?
Man, slow
Can
motion.
the woman really be single by choice, or is it she can't keep the man she want, or she can't have the man she want? Which one is it, E? Come on.
The only reason women would be single is two reasons. They can't get the one they want.
I'm far away.
Or I say it's only two reasons women are single. And it's because they can't get one of them is they can't get the man they want, and the other one is they practicing nunhood.
You said, did you say non-hood?
Non-hood. The convent. She from the convent.
Yeah.
What the ladies? How y'all?
No, of course they gonna dispute it. But just think about it. If a woman ended up with the man that she really wanted, would she be single?
That's the question. There you go.
She wouldn't be single. Because she would have got the man that she wanted. The only reason women are so claimed single is by force.
I agree with you, Eric.
Yeah, but to be honest, man, you should take gender off of it, man, because it's men fall in the same damn category. We can't.
No, I can't say that because men are, when it comes to choices, men are a little more difficult to
Right.
just single in on because it's several different reasons for that. You know, it's not the same as a woman because a woman.
It's not the same, but however, men can fall into a category based on your value. Will you settle and you just take a woman because she could take care of you, bro, or she has a knack to take care of a man, and dudes, if they can't get what they want, they get placeholders. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, but they're not
Is that a
single.
man?
That's
that
what
a
I'm
man?
saying. They're not single.
Hold on. I want to hear Ian. They call me, pick me, and go ahead.
Yeah,
I wanna hear both of y'all.
you right. You right, Stack. That's what they do. They'll go from bed to bed. You know what I'm saying? It don't bother them. You know what I'm saying? But when you're talking about just flat out single, claiming single, I don't want to date. I'm not going out. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, that come from a source of pain or just belief.
Or
You know,
just giving up.
I agree with you, Eric. So you thought women, I don't know about the other women, but I 100% agree with you. I actually think women have overpriced themselves out of the market.
Talk to him. Yo,
Right.
can she get a clap?
She about to start some trouble. She about to start some trouble.
Thank you.
All right.
I just
Street's
think
price ain't today's price.
I think that they expect so much from a man and they don't even have it to give. I think their expectations are just out of this world. And that's what I mean by overpricing. I think I think they think they look better than they do. I think they think they are better than they are. Having all of these surgeries it doesn't change who you are in the inside, right? You can have as many surgeries as you want. You can have the bangingest body as you could get, the perfect body. But if you ain't right inside, and if you don't know how to be a wife, all of that is irrelevant, right? Because at the end of the day, you're not his piece. You're looking at yourself. You're becoming selfish. And I think a lot of women are selfish. They're all about the attention. Who's looking at me? How many men can I get? That it's all about me, 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 me. And who wants to be with somebody like that for the rest of their life? They
Can I ask the women a question
Yeah, go
based
ahead,
on what
Jack.
you
'Cause
just
I
said?
wanted to ask her one too. Come
Based
on,
on hold
Jack.
on, based on what she just said, I want to ask the women on the panel a
Go ahead, because
question.
I want to ask her something too based on what she said.
So where does that state of delusion women come from that makes them
you,
feel like
you,
to have
Pain.
yeah? Can
you.
y'all ask where that come from?
It comes from you. It comes from men. Men. Let me explain. Do you know how many women tell women how good they look, knowing they ain't good, just to get the smacks?
True.
Do you know how
True.
many women gaslight these? How many men gaslight these women, telling them they all of this and they really ain't? And then do you know how many men are liking pics of women who are not necessarily who you want to be as a wife, right? Then they think they're tens, right? Because I got all of these men giving me attention, right? Do you know how many men lead with money? Do you know how many men, and I keep hearing men say everything is about money. Men, stop leading with it, right? Because now you've gotten women expecting it because you're leading with it. So
I'm
on the
not sure
other
if I
hand,
agree with.
no,
I'm
a
not
lot
sure
of
if I
men
agree
do.
with that.
A
I
lot of
agree.
men
I
do.
agree with her,
I'm
man.
just
I
telling you, a
do.
lot of men do, host. And wait a minute, host. I can't tell you your experience with women, right? But I'm telling you, my experience and a lot of women's experience with men is they lead with money that they don't
Oh,
have.
come on, let's argue. Hold on, I'm gonna
I have
disagree
to
because
disagree.
most men broke.
Oh, but
So
that's
how
what
they
I
lead
said.
with
They
something they
lead with
don't
money
have?
they don't have. That's what I just said. They lead with money that they don't have.
But the
I'm
part
talking
I agree with
about.
what she said though, Ho, she said that makes sense. And I seen this before. She said that these guys be liking pictures and these girls don't be all that. And I seen that, man. I seen guys like pictures and I'm like, what are they liking? I seen that, bro.
Hold on, I think Miss Allie, did you want to speak? Come on, sister.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Women lie to each other all day long. Women make women believe that they can have all that because they tell them no matter what they look like, no matter what they got on, no matter how much many times they call each other queen, they will tell them that they look good. You can have anybody you
She
want
ain't
to
never
sleep with
lied,
them.
bro.
Women lie to each other all day
I
long.
wanted to
A
say it, but
woman will
it
have
sounds
on
better
a
coming from
lace
a woman.
front and she got so much crust on it, it looked like baby powder. And another woman would tell her, girl, their hair looks so silky, and just don't even mention that lace crusty front. Women lie to each other every single day. Do not put on a tight dress and you got three guts. And a woman say, girl, you wearing that
Oh my
dress.
God,
Don't let
she
me keep
Super
cooking. Let
going.
her
fruper.
cook. Let
Don't
her
let me keep
cook.
Super
going.
fruper.
I'm gonna let my sister.
I'm glad a woman cooking because a man can't cook like that.
I will cook like that. Shit. I'll let you know in a
Yeah, I
minute.
was about to say, and it could just be because of where, like, being from the Northeast, but you're not walking around with me like that, baby. We got to go
She
back home
wrong
and
for saying
cook
a lace
that.
crusted front. She
No,
wrong.
that's
No,
the
Lace
she's
truth.
not.
crust.
No, she's not.
No, she's not.
No,
No,
she's
she's
not.
not.
A lace
No, she's
crusted
not.
friend. Oh my
No,
God.
she's not. Right, she right. That white cast all around it. You got to fix that.
What's
You
that black
know that?
styling gel that women be using to make their hair? That black styling gel that makes it hard and all that? Damn.
I mean, and
Them fake baby
we don't
edges.
use
Them
black
fake
gel no
baby
more,
edges. I
but
can't do it.
Damn.
yeah, yeah, all the way down the forehead. But you know what? That's more of the younger generation, though, and that's what I was getting ready to say
Yes.
earlier whenever she was saying about, these bodies and surgeries and things like that.
But how about fat chicks
It,
just wearing shit that they ain't supposed to?
I mean, that's their business. You feel me? If they're comfortable in their own skin, that's comfortable in their
Yeah,
own
but that's
skin.
too
Because
much skin.
But you
but
can't
that
tell
that
people
might
what to
but
wear,
you can't
Urban.
tell them
You
that.
can't tell
That's
people.
there. I might feel like
That part.
I don't
You
like
disrespecting
that,
my eyes,
Well,
man.
you can't. Don't
but
look.
you,
What you mean
yeah,
don't
I
look?
mean,
God gave me peepers to peep.
Well, then quit complaining. though. You can't
Nah, I
tell
can't
someone
complain. I
else.
could complain.
You
Listen,
can't
if I
tell
go out
someone
looking
else what to
presentable,
wear. You can't
everybody gotta
tell
look
people what to
presentable,
wear.
man.
I can't tell a man what to wear. Men can't tell women what to wear.
Yeah, but
That's
we don't have body parts that protrude that make people
yes, you
lustful.
do.
No, we
Yes, you
don't.
do.
No, we
Yes, you
don't.
Yes, you
do. You
do.
know how many men wear those
Hold
darn
on. Y'all wear gray
sweatpants with the
sweatpants
yeah?
just
Come on now,
because y'all
Urban.
know what y'all
Yeah,
trying
but
to
you
do.
can't wear that every day. Chicks wear leggings. Some chicks wear leggings every day. Got
But that's
dust
just
balls
because
on the
that's that
No,
side and
it's
woman.
a,
all this and
what
all
I
that. They
see.
stomachs looking like oatmeal and all that. All Come on, man.
Nah, what she's
Somebody
saying
like
is
it.
don't.
Men
That's
do
I
the
guess she's
same.
trying to say
crazy.
that men shouldn't tell women what to wear and women shouldn't
Yeah,
tell
we
men what
can't.
to wear.
Yeah.
Man, listen.
But there's also things that men do that women don't like. Like, what's up with all the black dye? If y'all know y'all going bald, shave that shit.
Yeah,
Y'all
man.
Could
still
I
trying
say
to hold
Yeah,
something?
on
I
to
agree
it.
with you on
So
that. Me, I
so
agree
Can
if
I
with
this
you.
jump in there?
come on.
I'd like to jump in there right quick, right? Like I hear what y'all saying, but we know that's all that's crap.
E, can you come to the phone a little bit?
Yeah, you far
I
away.
thought I got it at my face right
Oh,
now.
that's
Talking.
better. Whatever you did, that's better
Oh,
right
turn
there.
the volume. Try to turn the volume up,
Yeah,
maybe.
it's all the way up too. So
He
I don't
did
know what's
something. He
going
did.
on.
You doing something because some sound better than. But come on, we can get. Come on,
Yeah,
Miss Dewan. I'm gonna bring y'all
I
up in
hear the
2 minutes.
argument, but let me tell y'all something. Dude, I'm trying to think of the name of them birds that got the big tail feathers that spread them out until
Peacock.
they
The
peacock.
peacock.
That's it, peacocks. That's human nature. Everybody is gonna do what use whatever they got to impress the opposite sex. That's
But do you
what
know that the peacock, the one that's flapping the feathers, that's all
that's the
beautiful, is
male.
actually the male?
That's the male. That's
Hmm.
just like men with money right now today. Think about it. You can see some of the most unlikely guys with some of the most beautiful women, but it's not because of their look. It's because of what attracts women. Money attracts women. Sexualized women attract men.
I'm gonna
You
push
got a
back
point.
on. I'm gonna push
You
back
I
on that.
know.
Depends
you
on the
got a
woman.
point, though.
Hold on,
That's how
E.
it
I'm
go.
gonna push.
Women search for security. Men search for beauty.
No, I'm gonna push back on that. Right.
Uh-uh.
I'm gonna say the vanity-driven women search for security and money.
Right.
A real woman
I
care
want
about something
stability.
different because
I
Thank
want
you,
stability
host.
and
Thank you,
it's
foundation.
a
host.
lot
Thank
of
Okay,
you.
hold.
brothers out here that don't
Okay,
gotta listen to me, man.
okay.
When
What?
I'm not gonna speak for myself, right? But some of us are blessed with different things that will perceive what the normacy is. And when you're able to carry yourself a certain type of way, not necessarily having access to a certain amount of wealth, you'll actually be able to snatch, not knowing, but snatch one of them ball players, women, snatch one of them actors, women, because they leading with their money, but you leading with being a man, a character,
Mhm.
integrity. That'll supersede the money all day long. Now, I
It
get what you're
is.
saying because
But
it's a bunch
okay.
of women out there that's vanity driven. Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, let me break it down because I think you kind of lost what I was going with.
I heard you loud and clear, baby.
Even if you end up snagging a millionaire's girl, right? You not gonna be no bum under the expressway with a sign.
Well,
You gonna
why you go down all the way down there?
no
You
because
went
because
way down.
because how you worded it, right? So I'm going off of words. I'm just telling you this is how it works. Like
For the
even though
vanity driven
It
might
woman,
not
doesn't
E.
be
though. I also
a woman might not end up with a millionaire, but I bet you Buddy clean.
Yeah,
no. So I think
I
that it
bet he
all
clean.
depends
And
on.
now
I
to
can
be
respect that
clean,
part.
to
Hold on,
have
E.
on fresh shoes, to have on a nice outfit
Right,
that
right.
costs some
No,
money.
I
It
got
ain't
you right
free.
there. Let the
So
sister want
that's all I'm
I,
saying is
the
it
sister
don't
want
have
to
to
get
be
at you.
no, not even. What I'm saying is, I
I
think it
know.
also depends on where that woman or where the woman, the girl comes from, what she already has, and what it is. If she comes from some type of stability, some where money's not an object, then that's not what she's looking for. Like that's not the most. That's not the most.
But how
That's
many times that's going to be the case though? That's very rarely a case come from that. That she had come from that.
but
What's
it's not
rarely
even so. So when I say even come from something, right? Like money is not everything to me, and I'm going to tell you why it's not everything to me. It's not everything to me because I have been with a lawyer and he was an asshole. I've been with a doctor, a jerk, but I've also been with somebody that makes, let's say, a regular, let's just say $100,000 a year. You know, I live in New Jersey, so 100,000 is really it is, you know, it is the name up here, depending where you at. Okay, but he understands he's working. He's working for it. He's humble. He treats you well. Y'all
You know
are
what?
able
Let
to
me let me
build a
tell you something real
foundation
quick.
together.
So
To me, the money part isn't, because why? Honestly, because I also was raised that I'm coming to the table with something as well. So I'm not looking for your money. I'm looking for you to come with me so we can build together more than what I have. I
And
don't
that's
want
what
Tanisha,
to get
men
all of your
miss.
money.
That is what
Tanisha,
men miss, Tanisha. That is exactly what they miss. They put us all in one basket,
Right?
thinking that we all want something,
It's not like
and
that.
that's what they miss.
Tanisha. Let me explain this to you real quick. I agree with you, right? But that's rare, right? And so the reason I say it's rare, I'm gonna share this experience with you guys. So one time I was you ever heard the phrase "Don't judge a book by its cover"?
Absolutely.
So one time I was in solitary confinement, right? I was in there for 4 years, and I read all these books, right? And there's one book that I didn't read because it had a slave girl on the cover of it. It was a slave looking black girl on the cover, and I was like, I don't want to read the book. Look like not interesting, right? So I done read everything in my cell, and this is the last book, and books in there is like air. So when I started reading this book turned out to be the most powerful book I've read, and the name of it was called "In Search of Satisfaction" by J. California Cooper, right? And the book was so deep. It shows you the true essence of searches of satisfaction. Like this one woman, right? She came from wealth. I mean, wealth, generational wealth. But all she wanted was a home full with love. It could be a broke down shack. It could have been a broken down shack. So I agree with what you're saying. But those qualities are rare of women that you will find that would trade in riches to be a pauper.
But it's
That's my
also, but
only,
y'all gotta
only,
That's not.
only
understand that
issue.
y'all gotta
That's
understand
not
that
what
it's
she
like that
said.
on our aspect as well, looking for men. These men nowadays, they want the women with BBLs, fake
Yep.
titties,
Yep.
lips done, ass done, bust down
Who's
wigs.
telling y'all this? Who's
But
giving y'all this
because
information that we want that?
that's who these
Because
men are
the
with. We see it
regular women,
every
you're not
day.
chasing. The women
Nah,
Like
we
I said,
don't.
the
I
same way
don't know.
y'all
that,
Who's
see
telling
that
y'all
want
that?
to build with
That's
you, you're
cap.
not coming
That's
after.
cap.
Y'all think these
Y'all,
men like
y'all,
y'all? I think y'all
y'all
got
tripping.
y'all getting
Okay,
misinformation.
so let me say
Sit in
this
a
then.
room,
So let me
sit in a
let me say
barbershop
this.
full of men and ask
I
them if they
do. I
want
work in a hair
BBLs.
salon with them, but also it's a different generation. There's a barbershop up front. But what I will tell you this is this, right? They might not want to bring that home, but that's who they flexing with online. That's who they all in their DMs. That's who they make it seem like that's what they want. That's what they're portraying because that's what's hot. That might
That's
not be what it is and what they want, but because they boys want a fat ass and big lips and big wig, that's what that's what they think is what it is now.
No,
So
but
you
what
talking
you
about
think they want them
YNs? Then
for
you talking
though?
about
But what you
YNs?
think
That's
they
a
it's
want them
different.
not
for?
just
It's
YN
not
stick. It's
just
stack. It's
though. It's
not
really
YN.
not.
But
It
what you
is
think
a
they
lot
want them
of men
for?
out
It's
here
all about
with it.
physical attraction or something
It's
like that.
but
They
at the
just
end of
want
the
to pump
day, it
them and
ain't
dump
real,
them.
Urban. It ain't real. It ain't
I
real.
understand that,
And
but
y'all are
it's just
chasing
for
after
play.
what's
It's just
not
for play.
real.
It's
And
just for
at the
You
end
play.
of the
keep saying
day,
y'all. You grouping us together. You saying
But can I
y'all.
say
we're
y'all
just
women
talking in
though?
general,
Yeah, I
Stack.
think I
It's
think
just
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general.
I think we all gotta
Never dated a
understand.
BBL before in my life.
See,
Ever.
stack,
You're one
stack.
person.
But that's
You brothers on stage got a certain level of integrity, and if I heard you right,
right.
stack, I think I just heard you say you did 4 years in solitary. Did you say that? I want to tell you that peace and love to you for that, brother, because I seen that and it could really break you. I don't know how you made it through that, but I'm just going.
God's grace, bro. And I tell you one thing: if I didn't do that solitary time, it wouldn't have made me into the man of today because
That's a
He
good. That's a
shaped and
good.
molded me.
That's a
Yeah,
good way of looking at it, Stack. But when you was going through that, you probably didn't feel like that. The fact that you
yeah.
made it
It was a
probably.
soul breaker, bro. It was a soul
I
breaker
think
in
the
there.
fact that you made it made you think, you matured your level of thinking. So that's a respectable thing, brother. So when you're dealing with a different level of integrity, the women are not speaking to all. We generally having a conversation, and like you were speaking, saying that you felt like they were saying a certain thing, like certain men. Everybody not talking about the BBLs. I have seen the brothers. I can contest to it. But I don't know if I would blame the brothers for that. That's a little deeper conversation, and I like where the conversation going. But I just wanted to speak because I don't think the sisters talking about everybody. They're just speaking in general of what they see.
Thank you, host. I appreciate that. But
Hard to say
Stack,
about
Eric,
generalization
you
though.
Urban, I just wanted to say, right? We're giving you what we're experiencing, right? Just like you're giving us what you're experiencing. And what we're seeing as women, I agree with Tanisha, right? Is we talk about wives, right? I'm not understanding how some of these women who clearly are not representing themselves as wives get so much attention from the men who say they want wives, right? You want wives, right? You want women to be ladylike, right? You want women to be submissive. Well, if I'm online twerking, or if I'm online with my butt hanging out and all of my pictures, you don't see my face, you only see my backside with me constantly bending over, and I get 50 million likes, and that's what you all are liking, from a woman's point of view, it looks as if you're not looking for a wife, you're looking for that type of woman, right? Not saying that's true for you, Stack. Not saying that's true for you, Urban. Not saying that's true for you, Eric. Just in general, that is what we're seeing. And as far as these BBLs are concerned, men are infatuated, just like these women, right? These women are addicted to it. I believe they're addicted to it because they get so much attention from it. They get so much attention from looking like an
I'm gonna
ant.
add on to when you're finished,
Little,
man.
little thigh, little legs, and that big butt look like an ant. But men loving it. They're loving it. Again,
Well,
I
right
don't
talking
quick,
about
understand why
Stack,
men
real
you
love it
quick,
said,
though.
real quick,
not
right?
talking about
Hold on.
you all.
No,
Hold
no,
on, let me
We
I
get
know,
finish.
but I want to
Hold
understand
on,
I'm
understand the
gonna
sorry.
reason
say
why
I
something
men
thought
real
that
like
was
that.
fast
Urban
about the
host. I'm
I
sorry.
BBL,
like
right?
I like what
No, because I
they
agree with
call.
what she's saying, but we can even say, let's say, like, right, let's take it to a different
Well,
level.
hold on, Tanisha. I'm not through.
No, I'm agreeing with you about when you say BBL. What about the
And
women that's in a quote unquote gym, but every picture is of her butt?
Oh, for sure. And even though she ain't in the gym working,
She's
the
only
men
in the
talked about
gym
that.
because that's the fad thing to do. You know, not saying she don't care, but she in the gym, but she got a whole
And a
bottle of
lot
Don
of
Julio
land.
every weekend.
At the end of the day, what I was just trying to say for you all is that what we water, what we're planning, we're watering, we're giving attention to is what we want, right? Now, doesn't mean that you want it for your wife, but you can't expect us to discern that that's not what you're wanting, right? We don't know because that's what you're watering and that's where you're giving your attention. Come on, host, get me. Come
we
on.
finna give you some pushback, young lady. Hold
Come
on.
on, come on. I'm ready, host.
I
Look,
want to let, but you got some facts in there. So I
yeah, you
want to let
do.
Urban, I want
Look,
to let Urban speak, and then we'll go from there. Go ahead,
all right.
Urban.
See, us as men, like you have a point, but you know,
I know where you going. Come on, Urban.
we
Come on.
want you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want that wife of naturalization and all this other stuff. But in the meantime, a lot of men would just pump and dump them. We're not gonna get them. Yeah, we can spoil them,
The
but
point I was going to make.
when cats walk down the block, hold on, Tanisha, hold on. But when we walk down the block, you know what I'm saying, with these type of chicks, when they walking around with their backside feeling like a couch, it's just for pumping, straight up. You know what I mean? And then when we get done with that, I got that out my system now. Now, where's my love at? Where's she at? Let me go find her.
I'm not
Yeah,
You
looking
that's
know what I'm
at you no
saying?
more.
But
I'm
aren't you
not
the
looking
head?
at
a
you
good
no
point.
more. Because
But
guess
aren't you the
what? I
head,
was
Urban?
here when you was
Yeah.
looking for
Come
the
on,
pump and
sis.
dump. So I
Come
don't
on,
want you
sis.
no more. I'm not
Come
looking
on,
to be
sis.
your wife because where were you looking
But
at me?
y'all ain't
You
gonna
ain't
know you're
gonna
the
know
second
that.
Hold
choice.
on,
You
hold
How you
ain't
on.
gonna
gonna
Let's
know
know
you're the
hear.
that.
second choice?
Hold on. Let's hear the sister out, and
How
then
I'ma
we'll
know
take it
I'm not
back.
the second choice? Because I'm sitting on the porch and he walking down the block with Shorty and I'm the same one sitting there.
We ain't gonna let you see
Yeah,
that.
it's too
What
much
you
finesse
on? We
involved.
ain't
You
gonna
Huh?
let
ain't
you
gonna
see
know
that.
that you second.
Oh, so she's second. So you've chosen the
Oh, he
one
didn't
who
see.
It's
See,
not
you
being
try to
he
make
chose.
his
did say
words.
that.
No,
It's
He
not
said
about
second.
he
choice.
said, how do you know
Host.
that you're
That's not what
second?
he.
No,
He
that's
Yeah,
said
not what
y'all
he
that,
got.
host.
said.
He
Hold on,
said
hold on, hold
that.
He
on.
said, how do you know, how would you know that you're
That you're
second? And I'm
second.
telling him because how I perceive that I already felt second if, or maybe, you know what I mean, let's say again, we're all on the same thing, and I don't know that that's what you're with this girl for.
Come on. Why
What
would
do
you not?
you,
How would you got a point? All right, you got a point.
I don't
It ain't
know
I'm gonna
that.
that.
give, I'm gonna give
It's a
pushback. I
physical
want to stack
aspect,
this.
man. It's just physical. You know
So
what I
what
mean?
I was saying that is that a lot of the times, all right, just like he said, right? So men want their cake and eat it too. Aesthetically, this is not me. This is what I've seen from men. I never liked the BBL. I like soft women. And I like things that drop. I just like squeezing women. I don't like the stiff stuff.
I like the jiggle. I like the
So
jiggle.
listen. So what he was saying was right. So men want their cake and eat it too, right? This is why you can see they could party. It's a party girl that you could go to strip club with and all that, and then it's the ones that you wife. The women don't. They if you come around and you're not gonna know that this dude is partying with these type of girls because they're gonna hide that. The guy you see walking down the street, he's gonna double back. That's not the one's gonna double back and say these
D
guys are
Wad, I'm
so
gonna bring you up
these
in a
guys
minute, brother.
these
Go
guys
ahead,
are
brother.
so finesse like, right?
Bring you up in
They
a
But
always
minute.
gonna
Stacks,
do that.
you're the
They gonna
head.
No,
You're
it's
they're
not
the
gonna
about being the head. We try
hold
to
on, hold
use the
on. They're
head.
gonna finesse. They're gonna finesse, and they're going. Men are like manipulators. To be honest with you, to get what they
Uh-oh.
want, right? So they get what they want by a manipulation, and it's so deceptive. And I'm gonna tell you really, right? Don't listen to these men. Don't listen to what they tell you. Listen to what they show you. That is it. If you could stand by these principles and be like, believe none of what they tell you and all of what they show you, you have to stick by them principles.
But by
You
you
can't
telling,
let this God come around and
facts.
tell you all these things and
That's
just
facts.
and just go for the fallacy because it's
absolutely,
all
yeah.
lies.
And we know that some of
I'm
y'all
gonna
are
give
gullible.
pushback. I'm
Okay,
Mr.
host, come
Pushback.
on. Come on.
No, I want to let people that haven't had a chance to speak. Miss Christina and Miss Shakira, and then Lady London. If you guys would like to speak, I would like to. We would like to hear from you because I got some pushback for Stack. I like to give pushback to my brothers because they're intelligent and my sisters. It's just straight. Come on, Miss Christina, Lady London, or Shakira. You guys want to speak? Come on, Lady London.
Okay.
They probably doing something different. Come on, Lady London.
But I'm
Um,
giving you wisdom from men.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I
yeah.
agree with you, Stack. I 100% agree with you.
I want to state that you have some women that are single because they have standards. And what I mean when I say that
Well,
is you have some that they are in relationship and they are married, but they are accepting a lot of things from men that they shouldn't be accepting. And when a woman put her foot down and say, I refuse to be disrespected, I refuse to have a man breadcrumb me, I refuse to have a man to give me the bare minimum, I refuse to be treated the way that I don't deserve to be treated. As far as you got some women that they just no nonsense type of women. And a lot of men view those kind of women as hard, or they say those women are too difficult. It's not that those women are too difficult. Those women just won't let a man mistreat them. And sometimes they wind up being single because of that, because they won't accept less or because they won't accept what they deserve. And I remember one time I was speaking with my grandmother. This was years ago, when I was more active in the dating, world than what I am now. And I remember she told me, she said a lot of men really don't want to mess with a woman that's headstrong, like a woman that they can't manipulate, that they can't pull wool over her eyes. She was like, when they get a woman like that, they be wanting to go on about their business because they can't play with her. And sometimes women think that just because they out here dating and men are really not staying around, or things are not really going further where they want it to go. Sometimes those men are not staying around because they can't play with you. They can't manipulate you. They can't run game on you. And sometimes that is why some women are single, for that reason. Then you have others that may be single by choice just because they just don't want to be with a man. You got some women out there, they just doing their thing, and they'll tell you they don't want to get married. They don't want to be with no man, you know. So
Or Lady London.
Let a man get
Okay.
in their DMs. Let him get in their DMs that he looks good.
Is she talking like,
They
oh,
talk all of that smack until they get in their DMs.
casual, I want to be single?
well,
Lady
some.
London, let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Is a woman psychologically unstable if she don't want a partner?
No, it doesn't mean she's psychologically unstable because some women don't want to be married.
Okay, listen. Nature requires us to be in unison, right? But because we have become comfortable and complacent with comfortability, then you would say that. But God didn't make it to be that way. Otherwise, I asked people a question probably when I first started my podcast 2 years ago. I asked them, would you rather live on this earth by yourself with access to everything, or would you rather live on this earth with people with no access to water or food, which means you're gonna die soon? 99.9% of them people that I took that poll with said they rather just live amongst people and die, as opposed to living the rest of your days out by yourself.
But brother, let me tell you something. I understand when you say the Bible says, or you say we're not meant
I didn't say the Bible. I said nature. I'm going.
nature. Okay, when you say nature, we're not meant to be by ourselves, of course, but you don't have to be married or in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? You could still be
Not
a
not have to. I was asking you, if they like if they don't want to, because they accepted something that they really naturally they wouldn't accepted that. But because we so comfortable and we can go fly here and live our best single life, that's because we didn't got comfortable. But in reality, did she ever want to be with him or that person, and that person didn't show up? Now she just accepted the fact that she can't have that. Not did she ever think
Lying
that
to
feeling at
herself.
14, 15, 13, when she was a young beautiful young lady in her essence? Did she really just live life like I just want to be by myself forever? Did she come out the womb thinking like that? Or did society superimpose certain things on her for her to come to that conclusion that you came to?
sometimes it's not society, it's experiences, and it
That's
depends
my
on
point.
what that person wants out
Hey,
of life.
It's the
But
same
I,
thing, lady.
me
London.
answering your question, I want to ask you something. Do you think that a man is psychologically unstable because he doesn't want to get married or wants
we
a
talking about
relationship?
women right now.
But no, we can.
I
She
know,
can
but
answer
I
that.
want to ask him because
Absolutely not.
okay, but why do you think a
Why do we
woman is
always have to bring men
psychologically
into it? Why can't we ever have a
unstable?
conversation?
I like that. That's cool. I'll take it.
Truthfully,
I like that. Come on, I'll take that.
That's
but
but
she never once said that. What about if the woman is not? She never said that at
No,
all.
it's cool. It's cool. We can get it. It's okay. We come on.
no,
I like that.
I just wanted to know why do you feel like it's something wrong with the woman because she doesn't want it, but you don't think it's anything wrong with the man because
All
he
the
doesn't.
other women on the panel, you was the only one who disagreed with all the women
No,
on the panel.
I'm not
Stack.
disagreeing with anybody on the panel. I'm
We gotta
speaking with
let
the
her. We gotta
host.
let her cook for a minute, Stack. We gotta hear her out.
I'm
She might
speaking
be.
with the
Let her
host.
cook.
I'm not disagreeing with anybody. I'm answering the prompt and I'm talking to the host as he asks me a question.
Come on,
No,
sisters.
I asked you, I'm like, why do you think the woman is psychologically unstable because she doesn't want the marriage or relationship, but you don't see the same for the man?
Because just naturally, see, this is why I like reality, not my experience, not your experience. Naturally, we are different, and it's for a reason. So, because you have a certain belief system, I don't want to superimpose on that. I just ask you to sit back and look at things in nature innately. The behavior of a species it's innate behavior. My innate behavior is completely different than yours. And regardless of it being in America, this is practiced all over in Jerusalem. I don't care where you at, how far you go back, or your level of intelligence with history. Innately, we just are different. It's not me saying this by, me being all my no. It's just what I observe in nature. This is what we have to go off of. That's why. It's not me.
I don't think that it means that you don't want some people don't desire to be married, but that doesn't mean that they don't
Mm-hmm.
want to be with someone or they
Right.
don't have a friend that might fulfill whatever they need. It's a transactional
Mm-hmm.
relationship. It
Okay,
doesn't
see,
mean
our difference with
Right.
being with someone is different than a woman's being with someone. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't.
So
No, I don't.
what
Because
makes
Man,
hold on, wait. So you don't agree with that?
yes, sir, because you
So
got some women that I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, did you understand my question?
Yes, sir, I do. You got some women that they don't
Hold on.
want
What
to.
was my question?
You saying that a woman's definition of being with someone is different from a man's definition of being with someone, and I was
I
under.
use it. No, I use the word want.
Well, wanting to be with someone or how, however, I mean, what I'm stating is you have some women that they don't want to be married, they don't want to be in a relationship, but they will sleep with men whenever they want to, or
No,
they have a friend, a
I think
male friend
I
that
think you're
they.
misunderstanding me.
Yeah, she misunderstanding you, man. Because
See, you
some
gotta
women
take it
minds are
slow.
shaped by what society
Hold on,
does.
Stack. Hold on, Stack. Let him finish.
See, I don't want her to take. See, Lady London, I'm trying to get into your perspective so I can understand you, which is it's it's easier for me to understand you. Me, it may be a little more complicated because I'm trying to present a certain narrative to you. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys up real soon, brother. Okay, I know they want to get in. Gotta try. Go ahead, Lady London. Go ahead, finish your
Well,
statement.
I was just stating that you have some women out here, just like you have men out here. They don't want to be married. They don't want to be in a relationship, but they may mess with other men and women from time to time. Whenever they feel like they in need of some male company or female company, they know who to call and they know who to go to because again, it's in our nature to crave for each other, but it doesn't necessarily mean that every woman wants to be married or be in a relationship or wants a man in her presence all the time. Because remember, I told you, me personally, I don't want no man in my space every day. And not only do I not want,
Okay. Let me deal with that real quick. Then we're gonna move it around. You think that's a natural? You think that's a natural feeling?
yeah, it's naturally
Did you
how I
feel,
feel.
so did you feel like did you
Hold on, she said she married though.
No,
nah?
she's not married.
Did you feel like that when you was 13?
When I was 13, I was thinking about books in school.
Okay. Did you feel like that when you was listen? Did you feel like that when you was 18?
Uh, when I was 18, no, when I was 18, I had a different mindset towards it.
That's my point. Society superimposed the narrative on you. Now you are here. But
She
in
don't
the
understand that part.
But
in the in,
anything can change at any time.
I got you, Lady London. But you okay? We got a few people now. Okay, we'll bring you guys up soon. We having this conversation is going good. Okay, we're gonna move it around to the next person that want to speak. Go ahead. Eric, we haven't. Go ahead, brother.
Man, listen, I think y'all heard all my narratives to these questions, right? And so I will spew this one out. Like I'm a just use I'm a reference off of Lady London. The only reason people feel the way London feels most of the time is because of they have been hurt. If they have a better experience in relationship, they would not look at it the same as she's looking at it
Definitely,
now.
man. Definitely.
The only
That's the
reason,
point. That was the point he was trying to
only
make.
reason you okay with being single is because when you are in relationships, you have bad experiences. But instead of you
That's not
taking
true.
hold on. Instead of you taking accountability for the choices that you made in partnership, you rather blame a whole category of people. You know, and I'm not
It's
just
called
these people.
it's called guarded. She's being guarded, and it's a coping mechanism, but she don't understand that.
We can hear it though. When she talk, you can hear it.
Hear it definitely, and I'm a psychologist. Psych is my major. I can hear it on her voice.
Because you're not avoiding relationships because you never been in a relationship and you just don't want to deal with it. You only avoid them because you had bad experiences with them.
Oh, hey, I want to say
Like
this
I said
because,
earlier, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, I'm sorry. You can go ahead, Tanisha.
The only thing I was gonna say is I see both sides, but like I said earlier, some women, depending on the goals and what they're trying to do, are choosing not to engage in that right now. Like I said earlier, for myself, I can't give certain things at a certain point in my life because of where I was trying to. I wasn't interested in that. That didn't mean that I didn't like to go out to dinner when I had the free time. I didn't mean that I didn't have that one guy that I knew that if I wanted, I could call, I could whatever. I didn't mean that, but I chose to be single because I knew that in a relationship at that time, it required more of me that I was willing or wanted to give because that wasn't my focus.
Tanisha, let's break Lady London down. Let's
Correct.
see if we could do a
No,
psychosocial on her. Let's ask
I'm
her
not. Let's not
age,
listen.
how
That
many relationships she's been in. Let's get
Stack,
more
you gotta,
listen.
information.
you gotta.
For me, no. I teach and I do hair. That ain't. I don't. I can't break it. That ain't. I'm not about
All
to
right,
say
so you can
because I
stay out of
do
this. You can
believe
stay
though
out
that
No,
of
it
it.
is
Stack,
a
Let's
Stack, you
ask
difference.
gotta
Lady
ask.
London how old she is.
No, Stack, you gotta
No,
ask her
because
if she
she.
wanna
Person.
have that conversation first.
Yeah,
So
you
we
don't
don't
want to go
want to
so
set
personal.
her.
Can we ask these things of you,
I want
That's
please?
her personal
is
business.
Yeah, sure.
I
I
want
mean, what is that? I mean, it don't matter how old
I
she
want to
is.
respond to Eric and what he stated. First of all, I want to say this: I haven't ever been in any bad relationships. Um, the men that I dated, they treated me good. They treated me good. They spoiled me. I had good experiences with men. I don't have sob stories that I can share about how a man did me wrong and a man did this because I didn't allow it. I didn't allow a man to walk over me. I didn't allow a man to get me pregnant and leave me with a child and run off on me. I didn't allow all of those things. My experiences were really well. But at the point where I am in my life, I don't want it like I used to want it, and there are other things that I have going on as far as focusing on my education, focusing on my future. It's different goals and different things that I want to do. And I had to tell somebody close to me, that asked me, that brought up marriage to me. And I told them, I said, honestly, right now, I feel like a man would hinder me. And that's what I told this person. I said, I feel like a man would slow me down. He would hinder me. It's different things that I got to do that require my attention. So just being around a man every single day and
That's a
us,
contradiction of what you said, though, babe.
Let her cook, Stack. Let her cook.
us being around each other every day and us being married, I don't think some women understand what being a wife is. And I know plenty of married women, and they always tell me, "Don't rush it, don't rush it, don't rush it." And I know some that say, "Don't do it at all." I done heard Mo tell me, "Don't do it at all," versus the ones that just said, "Don't rush it." But um, marriage is work. I don't think people get that. Like they think about the wedding and us being able to say, I'm the wife and I'm Mrs. and Mr. So and so, but they don't understand it's work. You have to keep that person happy. You're now in a partnership. You have to keep hold of the household, and you're not just in it by yourself. You in a covenant. It's you and him now. So you have to live for you and that person, versus you being single. You ain't got to think about nobody but you. It takes work, and some people are not really ready to convert over to that. They still want to have their freedom and their singleness. They may want to mess with folks from time to time or have a little a boot thing who they go and visit. Every other week they go see the boot thing. Or see whoever every other week, but they ain't trying to be in nothing serious with that person.
London, that's cap. You've been capping
Hold
up
on,
here.
E. Hold on. Let
She's
Stack.
Contradiction,
capping.
bro.
That
It's
was
a
Stack
straight up
talking.
walking contradiction, bro.
She's
Go ahead, Stack.
capping, and you letting her. She's not
Tell you
cooking.
why. I'm gonna tell you
She's
No,
why it's a
burning the
let
contradiction,
friend.
Stack.
bro.
Lord.
Let Stack. Let Stack.
Yeah, I'm
Let
gonna tell you
Stack.
in I don't care who don't agree with me,
Go
but you
ahead,
could
Stack.
tell she said out of her own mouth she'd never had a bad experience in a relationship at all. She said all the men treated her well, right?
Mhm.
Where are those men now? And why have you chosen to continue to be single? And then you said, I'm not going to let a man dog me out. But if you had these relationships that didn't dog you out, so that's the contradiction. Because if you had so many relationships that didn't dog you out and the men treated you well, where are they?
Okay.
And why are you only referencing like saying stuff like bad relationships and not you're not gonna let a man dog you out, but what happened to the ones that
I
treated you good? Where they at?
okay. The
Them
reason
should be
why
your
okay,
stories.
okay, the reason why I said bad relationships is because y'all brought up women having bad relationships as to why that would change their mind. That's why I stated that. And I was just informing you I haven't had any bad relationships. the men that I dated, they treated me well. Another thing, you was like, well, where are they now? A lot of they tails is still single. Really, by all of them, they still single. I don't know one that done got married
Why you? So why they not with you? Is what we saying.
because we weren't equally yoked. They weren't bad men, but we may not have wanted the same things, or there may have been some differences between us that put me to the point where I didn't want to continue forward.
Be men know men, and we know at this point that's not true because, well, I ain't gonna say it's not true, but men that are listening to you, you look at the comments.
Cap,
Yes,
cap,
I see the comments, but I don't understand
cap.
why is that so triggering for what I'm saying. Like,
Man, it's not. Oh my gosh, you don't understand, man.
Not
You
triggering.
you are
don't
walking
understand something
contradiction.
to them that's disrespectful. This is my outlook and my experience.
Right.
I don't understand where all that is coming from.
Well,
Listen,
I want to do say this to just everybody on the panel. The reason I appreciate people like Lady London is because they're coming with a reality of what we really out here dealing with, and the other ladies too, and even us. This is a reality. This is why we had a conversation. So maybe we can go back and look at some of these things and say, okay, well, that make a little more sense. That make a little more sense. But some people be in their own conviction. All right, come on. We don't want to just keep centering Lady London.
I
We
just want
want
to say this, and I'm not gonna just center Lady London. I'm
yeah.
just my opinion on when I hear cap. If someone's telling me they didn't have bad relationships, right? And everything you hear out their mouth is talking about bad relationships. How would you know this if you never been in one?
Right,
I don't
Y'all
get
brought up
right.
that.
bad relationships. Y'all brought up bad relationships.
No, London, I'm
Y'all
not talking
stated
about
that.
just
Let
tonight.
her let us
Hold
see if
on.
she understands where you coming
I haven't.
from.
Okay, let me break it down so she don't get it misconstrued when she answers it. I'm not just talking about tonight. This is every panel we on together.
Yup. That's a fact, bro. I'm glad you recognize that.
I
This
don't
is
speak on the
every
bad
panel.
But
Now
that's why
it's
I said,
people.
but that's
Hold
why I
on.
said we gotta.
Okay,
That's why we gotta
but
respect
she
Lady
can't.
London because she giving us a reality, a perspective of what we really
No.
dealing
Okay,
with outside.
could I land my plane before everybody
Yes, sir.
starts, and so y'all can understand what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing. You see what I'm saying? I can't give you a perspective of something I haven't been through, unless and hold on, unless someone has been drilling it in my head, or I've been through it, and I'm sitting here fibbing that, telling you guys I haven't been through it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make
sir,
sense.
I'm sorry. I have not been in no bad relationship. I don't know what it's like to be knocked between a washer and a dryer, or to be cheated on, or to have somebody giving me chlamydia
There's
and
three
gonorrhea.
sides to every story.
I don't know what that's like. I have not been in no bad relationship, and I don't have a history of being mishandled by men. Now, maybe something more general, as far as when I was just out in public, probably shopping somewhere, and some bum come along and do something that ain't right. Maybe
So,
something
what
like that.
perspective do you
But
speak
as
from
far
then?
as I just the question of the prompt of asking, are women really single by choice? And I answer stating some women are single because they have standards, because they're not going to go for certain things.
And we saying we don't agree with that.
Well,
That standard
that's
stuff is out the window.
but that's okay. I don't care what you agree with. I'm not up here for you to agree with me. I mean, I'm not things you talk about.
But I,
I'm
but
not.
Yeah, I think what the guys misunderstanding you at Lady London is because a lot of people would deem if you not in a certain type of relationship that it's bad too. They may be, and you may not understand where I'm coming from. Let me try to explain. And Lady London might disagree with this, right? But just because she wasn't in the bad relationship don't mean she was in a good one either, fella.
She said they were all good.
I'm
Right, they
saying
did.
she made
Her
so
own mouth.
And
right,
they
but
were
this
nice
this the
guys.
thing. So some of our standards is different than others. So your good may not be my good. Your good may be my great may be your good, and your your good may be my bad. It just depends on where we coming from. You got to really open up your mind to a certain level of thinking and not just be myopic. But let's take it off Lady London and just move the mic around. Go ahead. Go ahead. Who haven't spoken? Is anybody here haven't spoken? B May? Come on, B May.
Shakira Hoyt. Shakira's been here for a while.
Come on. Miss Shakira be moving around. She do what she want in these rooms.
Oh.
Come on. She do what she want. She can come. She can just come on, sister.
So I do believe that you can be happy by yourself
You
because
better cut it out. Where your husband? Put him on the
he
phone.
he right here snoring. Look, right beside me.
Come
I'm
on,
try-
sister. I just
that's
you know
why
I mess.
that's why I'm trying to hurry up and talk before you start back. I do believe that you can be happy because you control your own happiness. Now,
Who told you that?
someone can your partner can contribute to your happiness,
No, they
but
can't.
they can.
No,
You
they
can
can't.
contribute.
If they got that building, Miss Shakira, if that okay, we got Willis Tower, the tallest building. It's where is that? They're not building on top of that. So if you saying you could be completely happy, don't know by yourself, how a
You
man gonna contribute to that?
you can. I didn't say completely. I didn't say completely happy,
Are
but
we
you can
talking
be
about complete
somewhat
now?
happy.
We talking about whole.
You can be happy, but that person contributes to your happiness. Because how you gonna make somebody else happy and you're not happy?
Let me ask you something. If you had 100 million, would an extra million make you happy? Or you cool, you content with your 100?
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take the extra 100 million
So
too.
with 100, that's why I gave 100 million number. If you had 100 million, you saying another million to make you more happier, or
No,
you can
no. I'm content with it.
right? You very happy, right? So what you need with that extra million?
We can do more. Hell, I mean, it's extra. It's extra happiness, but I do believe that you can be happy for a moment because sometimes you need to. If you're in a bad relationship, I'd rather get myself together first, and then when I know that I'm happy and I'm content with it, then I can go make the next person happy because I'm giving them a better version of myself. If I can give you a better version of myself than what I gave the last person, hell, I'm doing good, and that person gonna do good because I'm giving you a better version of me. He might not know it's a better version of me, but I know
I'm gonna
myself.
just give you. I'm just give you a hand clap of praise.
Whatever.
Come on, B May, you want to speak? Or no? I'm sorry, Shakira, you through?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Fly a little more. Fly a little more before you crash that
Okay,
that
hi everybody. So my thoughts on are women really single by choice, or is it that they can't keep a man they want? So I can definitely agree that there are women that are not single by choice, and by single because they they can't get the man or type of man that they desire. Very true, but that is not all. And there are women that are single by choice at the same time. Now, for me personally, depending on the person, age, circumstance, history, that can decide whether what type of women you're talking about or talking to who says that they're single by choice. Yeah, so I do believe that women can be single by choice, and I do believe there are women that are not single by choice. And I can like, for example, right, me and my man have been together for 8 years. Before I met him, I was, I'll say, by myself for a good 2 years, and that was by choice. I didn't have any bad relationship. My relationships, I was also treated very respectfully, very well. I don't just want date anybody. Like that's my peace, that's my space. And I needed that time for myself, you know. And then you also have people depending on the stage you're at in life. Like I could say my best friend, she's single by choice. She ended a relationship, but she's a very beautiful girl. She gets approached daily. You know what I mean? So it's not like she can't get what she actually wants. But right now she's going for her master's. So for her is like when she when some people, like when they get a man or in a relationship, they want to put their time into that person. You know what I mean? You don't want to feel neglected by someone because they have to put their focus into something else. And sometimes you have to understand that everybody's different. Some people can't multitask. Some people know themselves, you know? Some people know that, listen, I'm going through school, I'm doing certain stuff right now. If I accept and I enter this relationship, I know myself. I know I'm going to put this person in above. I know I'm going to want to. I know I'm going to want to like invest into this person, invest into this relationship. So I need to make a decision to be single, even though I want him, even though I want to have a relationship, even though I crave it or whatever, desire it. I know that if I do that, I'll be messing up and stepping and basically having myself step back a couple steps. So people also know themselves too. You know what I mean? We
You
all know
said,
ourselves.
hold on. We got
Oh,
a little
sorry,
feedback.
sorry.
No, you not be sorry. You talking. I cut you off. I'm sorry. But I gotta try to get at you. You said you desire and crave. Is that what you said?
Oh no, I was speaking in general of women. That wasn't me.
Not you. I'm saying that's what you said. You said the woman desire and crave. Is that the word
Yeah,
you used?
yeah, there's women that yes desire or
I
crave.
never seen nobody with their food sitting there and they desire and craving and they don't go get it. They
Well,
choose to go
it,
get that
it
food.
it's called oh my goodness, my brain. I'm having a brain fart right now. Sorry.
Oh, discipline.
One second, a train is passing. Okay, it's gone.
I'm trying to use that train. Now that train ain't gonna stop there.
No, no, no,
I'm
definitely
just
not.
messing with
But it's called one, you have to understand that when even if you want something in life and you know right now is not the right time, that's where you have to understand where discernment comes from
you.
or
No, not what you talking
control
about
or self
craving and
control.
desire.
Yeah, but yes, you can. It's called self control. You know what I mean? You have to have self control. That's where self control takes a big place with anything. You know, you have to understand of your needs and your wants. I might want this man. I might want this relationship, but I know right now I need to focus on myself because what good am I to anybody if I'm not complete with myself? If I'm not where I want to be? If I sit there and I take 3 steps to go to move forward in
Mhm.
a relationship, what if I'm now unhappy in that relationship and it's not because of him? It's because I didn't complete something within myself. You feel me? And nobody's gonna be able to make me happy. No man can make me happy. My man don't make me happy. We're in addition to each other. I make myself happy every day when I wake up and I look at myself in the mirror and I go to sleep. Because at the end of the day, I sleep in my own body. You know, so people also have to understand that. But I'm gonna land so other people can like chime in as well.
I'm about to go play the lottery. What's this date and time and how many likes on here? We got to because we got a lot of unicorns in here. So it's gotta
Now
be
they go ahead. I'm gonna let somebody else because
Can I answer the prompt, host? I never answered it.
I got some major pushback. I love pushing back. Yes, Miss Pick Me, come on. You can do whatever you want. You a
Thank
pick me?
you.
Come
Thank
on,
you.
young lady. Come on. Your name talking about pick me. Pick me out.
So, are women really single by choice? I heard what B May said. I heard what Lady London said. I don't agree with it. I
Mm.
think from the time we're young, we think about marriage, we think about our mate and what it would be like and all of that. We dream about that. We have what our wedding is going to be planned. We've even picked who the bridesmaids are, long before we even got the groom. So I get what they're saying, but I don't agree with it. I think that it's not by choice, right? And I'm not saying that everyone's been hurt, and that's why. But there's reasons why you are single. Because if that man comes, woos you, whispers that sweet nothing in your ear, as Stack says, does a little manipulation that they do per stack, not me, but per stack, you're going to fall because you innately want to be with a mate. It's just in us to be with a mate. We like having that companionship.
I know you ain't use my word, young lady, innately.
Yeah. So I think that we if one of the things that I think that women are not accountable. And part of us not being accountable is us not admitting that we really want to be in a relationship because we want to be so hard. We don't want it to look like, no, we're not desperate. We're not desperate. No, I don't want a relationship. Yes, you do. You can lie to everybody else, but in truth, you really do want one. You do like seeing when your friends are doing things with couples. You don't want to be the third wheel. You want to have a partner, right? You like seeing people going out going to parties with their mate, and you don't have a mate, right? Nobody wants to be the third wheel. So we can say and make it, what, you can put lipstick on a pig and try to dress it up, but it's still a pig. At the end of the day, we're women, and there are a lot of things that we have in common. And part of that is we like love. We like that perception of us having this mate that's going to be romantic. It's going to just pick us up and make mad, passionate smacks with it's all of these fantasies that I think a lot of women have that are not realistic. But we can't be not honest and say that's not the case. So I heard what the ladies say. I respectfully disagree. And I think women are not single by choice. I think it's because they haven't found that one. And so it's easy to say now, well, I just don't want, I'm just going to be single because you haven't found that one, or someone hasn't asked you to marry them, or the one that you wanted to ask you to marry you didn't. So it's easy to say, I'm single by choice, because now, it's not that you weren't chosen. You don't have to say you weren't chosen. You say, I made the decision to be single, instead of explaining that you really weren't chosen. And I'm not saying that's the case for anybody on the panel because I don't know your business. I'm just saying in general, and I land.
Hey, yo, host, could I say something real quick? Remember yesterday when Lady London came on the panel and she said to you, she was being disrespectful, right? And you was like, well, how was that being disrespectful? And the reason she said I was being disrespectful was because I was voicing an opinion. She couldn't really tell you where I was being disrespectful at. In my opinion, in my 20 years of working in social services, psychology, and understanding people, she's been hurt somewhere along the line. And she's very sensitive to men that have opinions and may raise their voice an octane level over, right?
Where
So
did we get back to this?
Hey,
hold
girl,
on,
I don't know, girl.
I
This was like
don't know
last year.
hold on. It ain't, but see, now you're cutting me off. See, I can't finish. But what I was saying, and not only that, but the brother that was up here, Eric, said the same thing. Every panel is this disposition, and you come off as a feminist in my opinion, or you've been hurt somewhere, and you just not revealing. And I don't even want to know. I really don't, because I study human behavior. In my opinion, in your lifetime, there hasn't been all peaches and cream with these men in your life. Somebody hurt you somewhere, and you just ain't telling us out of whatever the reason. It's cool though. You can keep it to yourself. But based on what I can hear, it sounds like you had, because you speaking from a perspective of hurt when you say you never was hurt. And that's what people find to be complicated and difficult to understand.
I'm gonna
Hey,
say this.
oh,
I'm
oh,
gonna
oh,
say
but
this
you
for
know
Lady
what?
London.
But you
Hold
know,
on,
Who's
Lady
he
London.
referring to?
but you know what? But you know what? Word to mother, son, B. You better keep my name out of your mouth. You need to stop saying Lady London, honey, and focus on stat. You understand where I'm coming from, son?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna
B.
say this, Stack. I'm gonna take Lady London as an anomaly. Let's just accept her as an anomaly. Can we do that? So we don't got to keep centering Lady London. She got a perspective that most women have. Well, I ain't gonna say most. A lot of women have that perspective, but they might not know how to convey it like Lady London. So I just say she an anomaly. I love to push back because it allows us to have the conversation with a realist from her perspective.
Can I say this one thing? When someone does say, right, even like what I've heard too of not being hurt, because I also said the same thing. What do you call it? Talking also about relationships. Nobody said that probably never got hurt by your daddy. Of course, common sensely, everybody in life has been hurt. That's common sense. That's something that we all know about, but not everybody had a bad relationship. Because if I look and if I become one of those women, I'm saying, yeah, all men is bad, or not all men, or yeah, these men are bad, this and that. I'm talking about my experience. I'll have a flood of people coming at me, probably saying, what? All men's not bad, but that's my experience. You know what I mean? So from what I've dated or what I've this and that. So not all women had bad experiences with men, because there are great men. If you're trying to say that they're not great men out there, or every woman that had to experience a bad man, you know what I mean? So like that really goes into question on more so your mindset. And are you talking on your own view based on what you've seen and the people around you? Because I know plenty of women that never had a bad relationship and has beautiful black love, and they're treated respectfully and they're happy today. And when I mean bad, nobody's talking about hiccups in a relationship. No, though, we know there's hiccups. We know when we're talking about a bad relationship. Not everybody experiences that, brother.
They're saying that everyone does be made, but I
No,
think
I'm not saying that everybody does. I know what they're saying. I'm
no,
still
I think they're saying that if
Mhm.
you had what you just said, mostly great relationships, you generally will come from that perspective
Thank you.
because that's what you've had in your life is great,
Thank you.
right? You don't generally come from a perspective of being treated bad, being abused or being disrespected, because that's not what you had. You are going to come from the view of what you had, because you're not going to be able to relate to the other, because that's not what you had, right? So I think
Exactly.
that's where the gentlemen are coming from, is that, if everything was so gravy, how do you constantly talk about how bad relationships can be, and that you're not going to put up with this, that, or the other? That, I think that's what they're saying. That's all.
Okay, I need to
Well spoken.
okay. I need to speak to the panel and just the people in the comments and maybe some of the people trying to come up. So I'm learning how to navigate this thing, but what happened?
I could rotate out if you want
No,
me
no,
to.
no. Listen, that's why I want to say this before you leave. I noticed that sometimes when you move somebody, people will get offended. But this the thing, what I'm realizing, it's not about booting somebody out because of whatever reason. It be sometimes we'll get an energy on the stage that's a positive energy. Then you move somebody, bring somebody else up, they'll disrupt the stage, which is fine because you're not knowing who down in the who in the comments or who in the chat that want to come to the stage that's going to be real. For the most part, we get real people. I'm basically saying all that to say if I move you out, if you don't get upset and leave, I'll bring you back in a few minutes because it's some people that's been sitting down there for a while that want to come up and speak. And this, the goal is to build the room so we can have different interactions from different people because people be having some real good perspectives, even with the pushback. So I don't want nobody jumping down. Unless you want to jump down, then we bring you back. But if somebody or one of the moderators had to move somebody around, just stay and try to still engage. You know how you go. I've been to shows, right, where you ask the people ask you, can you come to my show, Auntie? And then as soon as your people get through performing, you up you up out of there. But you don't want to just be there for your people. We want to have a conversation. So I just wanted to put that out there in case we have to move some people around. And then when you get a panel like this where everybody balanced and we can have pushback and have a good conversation, it's hard to bring people up, but we will start, building and just bringing different people up. So I want to give everybody on the chance to say what they say, and then we'll just move people around or, work it like that. So go ahead. Now, nobody had to leave. We'll just move people around, and they got a timer. We'll put people on the timer so we can bring you back and go back and forth. Because people in the comments be talking to people on the stage, and we want to have people engaging with each other. We don't want to just have them talking and they're not here. So if you're not scared, pull on up.
Jim?
Yeah, yeah, you can ask whatever.
Okay, so just to
You got my
ask, so I
mic?
can have a better clarification. So are you saying like if a woman, hypothetically speaking, has history of bad relationships,
I got you, Lake. I'm gonna bring you up.
right?
Go ahead.
And she's single and she says she's choosing to be single, would you deem her as she's not choosing to be single but forced?
You asking the room, right?
Who you asking
Yeah,
this to?
yeah.
Go ahead.
You can answer Stack.
Go ahead, Stat.
All right, so in the beginning, see, we was here from the beginning of the thing, and a lot of people were saying that sometimes when you have a history of bad relationships, some women choose to not date at that time because they're trying to get themselves right mentally. So that is an option.
Mm-hmm.
However, then we were saying there are times when women have the perspective of I'm choosing to be single by choice, and we know that's not true. They just choosing to be single because the man that they want is not knocking down their door, and that's true as well. So it's truths on both sides, and that's what
Yeah.
we were saying.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I definitely agree with that. Awesome.
Good. I can agree with that as well. If a person will go ahead and admit that some are single by choice, because that is true for some people. They just don't want to be in a relationship nor a marriage.
I'm a,
Yes.
go ahead, Miss London. I'm sorry. I thought you was lying. Go ahead.
That's all I want to say.
But I push back on the choice thing. Let me try to paint a picture. We all lost somebody that we love. I'm pretty sure. What happens? God will grant you time to learn how to cope with that person you lost. I attach that the same way as somebody that once wanted to get married and now they're accepting the fact that this not in their destiny. We want our mothers and fathers, our brothers and sisters to be here forever. I thought when my best friend got away from me, we got the same mom and father. This was my best friend. He got away from me at a young age. I blasphemed because I grew up as a Christian or whatever till I come to find out it's a spiritual thing. It's not about religion. But anyway, I blasphemed. I told God, man, you took my man out of here. I got to go. This is my blood brother, but he was my friend. When what happened to me happened, I say, damn. My brother just died, and a couple weeks after that, I was outside. I got shot up real bad. They said you're not getting out of here, young man. You're not gonna make it. But it wasn't. This is what the public. This is what the doctors they'll do that. Anyway, the first thing I thought about, I say, damn, bro, you did all that. What about your mama? I didn't even think about my mom, right? So I was just talking in vain and wasn't thinking about my mom. And then I woke up. I say, damn, you know what? What about my mom? I don't want my mom to hurt like that. So I repented for that and I asked for forgiveness for that. But over time, I learned how to live with that trauma. And God gave me time to be able to be balanced in that. I think it's the same thing when people say what you don't want, because a lot of people will say that I can be happy and I'm single, but that came from somewhere. That's why I try to go back to the origin of the situation. Did that trauma come from somewhere? And it's that trauma, and did you become complacent in that belief? People can push back, but it's a reality to it. It's the same difference.
You cooking, bro. I kudos to you for that, man. And condolences to you, your family, and for that
I
loss, man.
appreciate that. God will give us, we'll learn how to live with not having a significant other and say we happy. But I'll be damned if I'm the same person I was when my brothers was here. And that's just one of my brothers. I lost another one. But in the beginning, I just blasphemed. But over time, I stopped it. I thought I had empathy for everybody around me. Like, damn, if I die, well, my mama just lost 3 kids. What I'm thinking like that for? So it's the same when people be like, I'm happy without a mate. What how we living out here without mates until we get, and for a man it's different. I know they're not gonna like that.
Do
But
you
I
think
like to
that?
know
Oh,
what your
sorry.
thought is on it.
Do apologize. Sorry.
No, what you probably come on, sister.
Paula, do you think that this, and I don't want to get nobody riled up, just, just
Rile us up,
speaking,
young lady.
yeah.
We like to get
Do
riled
you,
up.
do you think that based off of relationships and how they are, right? Do you think that man created relationships for another purpose, and the way we look at relationships like romance, certain stuff, this and that, do you think that we're actually supposed to be in relationships? Because when I see the majority of results of certain stuff and how people are, and then when people question that a man can't just be with one woman his whole life, even if he's in a relationship, like he'll still want, and then vice versa, whatever. Do you think that maybe are we really supposed to be in relationships? Because even when it says, okay, mating, do you think that we're really supposed to mate for,
for the population. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. We
Yeah.
supposed to be in relationships. Absolutely. The thing is, we supposed to be in healthy relationships. We're not. That's all. Yeah, we supposed to be in relationships. We
But
meant to be.
relationships is many things. Like
That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
relationships, yeah, exactly. It's a friendship, it's a family, it's a relation. As long as you're related, you feel me? You have a relationship. You know what I mean? But do you think that are we, as man and woman, we're really supposed to be in a romantic? Because when you bring in romance, right, and then you look how, especially with social media and certain stuff, you have women ready. Say if they have a good man, and if he's not picking her up, bringing her flowers, bringing the world to her feet, oh, she's unhappy. You know what I mean? This is not a real relation. It's not happiness. You're not loving me. But meanwhile, he loves you. I feel like, especially when we bring in all the extra stuff, I feel like it ruins relationships because that's not how relationships are really supposed to go.
Right. Well, that could be subjective. So that's a good question, and is we can talk for days and hours about that. But that just could be subjective. I'm sorry, brother. We trying to get you in. You've been here for a minute late. I was gonna bring you in, but this brother probably been down there about an hour. Well, go ahead, brother. I want to let you speak because you've been down there for a minute. Then I'll answer your question in a minute, sister. Go ahead, D1. You here?
Yeah, you got me up?
Yeah, you up. You can go. You can speak, brother.
No, I
Since
just
you've been
the
down there
only thing
for a
I'm gonna
minute,
say
my
is
bad.
no, we good, homie. You already know I just be bothered. But how the world gonna move if women not having children? How the world gonna evolve? How we gonna move forward if y'all don't wanna have babies? Y'all don't wanna do this, y'all don't wanna do that. It's all about what y'all don't wanna do. That's
He's talking to the
selfish.
women that's saying that they cool without a relationship, sister. So
Yeah,
I
that's
guess you
being
gotta
selfish,
answer
but
the
we wanna
question.
be with y'all though. That's the problem. We wanna be
Go,
with women. We
go
wanna
ahead,
be with
single
all I
sister.
know I can't speak for everybody. I'm just gonna say me. You don't think I want me a black woman with me? Come on, man. Everything y'all do, y'all copy us. If you with a woman, she gonna go to talking like you. You be with us for so long, she gonna go talking like you, moving like you. Oh, I wanna wear this, I wanna wear your bosses, I wanna wear your t-shirt. We know what y'all want, but y'all resisting it. Stop resisting it, man. We know what we supposed to do, man. It's y'all, oh, I'm independent, I don't need. Stop saying what you don't need. You supposed to get your own money. That's your money. I don't want your money. I ain't here for your money. Just show me you love me. I'm gonna show you what we can do. That's nothing. That y'all done been trained to think that can leave any day. You don't see how these people, they just say this man Elon, he lost 34 billion in one night. $34 billion in one night. Money is not everything, man. You ain't got love, man. You ain't got nothing. That's just my opinion. I can't speak for everybody. I'm saying me. If I go for it, if I go all in again, it's gonna be genuine. I already know, man. She gonna love me for me, not for what I can do for her.
Do you think everybody's
Cause
supposed to repopulate? Do you think everybody's supposed to
yeah, that's how
repopulate?
the world keep moving. What are you
No,
talking
no, no.
about?
Wait,
How you gonna be single and not how the world gonna move and there's no children being made?
wait. You're not
So
understanding
that
the.
means everybody should be gay.
You're not understanding
So
the
that means
question.
everybody should
Hold
go get
on,
a man.
hold on,
All
hold
men should
on,
go get a man, and all women should go get a woman. So
hold on,
we're not gonna populate the world no more.
hold
God
on,
said be
Dewan. You gotta
fruitful
get
and multiply.
Dewan. You asking the sister, you gotta give her a chance to respond, then you can respond to her. I want to hear y'all real quick, brother.
For sure. You know I'm for sure.
It's okay. That
Man,
was just
you can be
passion. He was
passionate. It's okay.
passionate.
I got you, brother. You can
I didn't take it on.
go
That was
ahead.
just passionate. You fine. It's all right. I get like that too. That's beautiful.
Thank you, sister.
What,
Thank you.
He
what's
was
Go
down
ahead.
in the chat. He was down in the chat too long. He got a lot to say.
Yeah.
I be
Go
the
ahead.
same
Talk to the
way.
brother, sister. Can you
Okay.
talk to the?
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
you?
yes, yes. So I don't think you understood my question when I said is everybody supposed to populate? Do you really think that everybody? I don't think that everybody's supposed to populate because there's certain people now. Everybody's supposed to serve. Yes, there's a serving, especially giving back and stuff like that. But I don't think everybody's supposed to be to populate because I'm not gonna lie. There's certain people out here that you could see that they shouldn't have no kids and they be creating some, you know what I mean? And that's like one bad apple creating another bad apple and just spoiling. Before you know it, your garden's filled with weed and now nothing's growing no more. I don't feel like when I mean man, I'm talking about human. Every man is supposed to populate. You know what I mean?
It's somebody for everybody.
Do you really think that? Because
There's somebody for everybody.
aren't there more
The
women than
world is
men?
not going to evolve if we don't have the children. You gotta pop. God say be
But
fruitful and
D1, you got to
multiply.
understand what she's saying.
Yeah,
God
I
don't choose
understand.
everybody to
Yeah,
pre-populate, bro.
everybody not mental capable of having children. That's right.
Hold
You right.
on,
She's not
Stack,
wrong.
No,
Stack. Don't
She's
don't
not
you're
hold
wrong.
not
on,
She's not
Stack.
wrong.
Don't
listening
help
What
to
us,
she's saying.
Stack.
What
Stack,
understand.
she's
You're
just
saying.
let
She's
listening
her.
not
to
wrong. What she's saying.
respond.
Everybody not mental capable of having kids. You're right.
That's
And when
not
you
what I'm
find that,
saying. You're not
when you
listening to understand, sweetheart. You're listening to respond, and your responses
well,
are
no, I'm
moving.
listening to you. I
No,
don't
you're
want to.
not.
It ain't no argument. I'm just listening to what you're saying. I'm
Oh
telling
no,
you
no, we're
from
not
my
arguing.
perspective. Like
Yeah.
if I get a wife, it shouldn't be no limit to how many kids we have. You can't tell me, oh, I want to have 5 kids. No, however many kids we have, that's what we gonna have. You my wife. That's what we supposed to do. If we come in here, we come out, we have 20 kids. We got 20 kids. That's what God blessed us with.
Man,
That's
20
all I'm
kids,
saying.
bro. Come on,
Hold
man.
on,
Gotta
Stack.
be a limit
What
to
you
the
mean? That's how
kids,
you gonna
bro.
Stack.
multiply.
Wait,
That's how you
Stack. Do
that's how
you
you be fruitful and
understand what I'm
multiply
trying to
with.
say, Stack? When I
Yeah,
mean
B,
that, I'm not talking. Yeah, I'm
you're
not
not
talking about if you're
understanding.
sterile or whatever or this. I'm saying when it comes to you as a person, there are certain people in this world that should not make kids because DNA is strong, and there's
And I
certain
just
people that
and
should
I
not
agree
make
with that.
kids.
I agree with that. But if I find my wife,
Uh-huh.
I'm a many kids God give us.
See, he talking
We ain't
about him
putting no limit
personally,
on it.
B, man.
Yeah, let's
Nah,
talk in
she just
general.
said that though. That's what she just said. I
No,
ain't taking it
I'm
personal.
talking
I'm
in
just saying
general.
if I find my person, we need to multiply. We need to have many babies we can have. If I know you my soul, if I know you my soulmate, come on, man. We need to have many babies we can have. Y'all having babies without a daddy. And I tell you, I want to do this with you. You get mad. That don't make no sense. It just don't. It don't make. It's not logic to me.
B-May, you said
No.
something about, you asked the host, did he think, and please
Hold on,
correct me
somebody.
if I'm wrong.
We gotta try to mic up. I can't hear the sister. Let's mic up. And let the sister talk. Go ahead, sister.
You said something about, do you think that men and women are supposed to be together? You said something to that point.
I was talking on like when I said that, don't think that like remember I'm in an 8-year relationship. I love my man, okay? But since we're having a conversation, I like to open it up, open minds and stuff like that, get deep. But I said when I meant that I was saying in a romantic,
Wait,
like
wait.
not
I'm
saying that we're
sorry.
not supposed to populate and be together to populate, but I'm talking about in a romantic. Because when you hear how certain people speak, even if say if married and stuff like that, when you actually have real conversations with people that are able to be open, and I speak with you can hear married men and many different this and that and some people, some think like, I'm not gonna lie, there's questioning. Like, is it a man, many men, and they can agree, it's hard for them to be with one woman their entire life. And even if they could have that self control, does not still mean that they don't crave to be with another woman. So that's DNA, that's coding. So
That's
I'm
not
talking about
coding. God didn't make it that way. God made a man for one woman in the Bible. Now, if you don't follow the Bible, then you don't follow the Bible. But
Hold on.
otherwise, you couldn't have. He wouldn't talk about adultery because
I gotta disagree with that, sweetheart. I'm sorry because
Yeah.
well.
when you talk
Do you
about
believe in God?
real quick. Yes, one, I believe in God. Yes, that has nothing to do with the Bible. What's it called?
Or
When
do
you
you? And I was going to ask, do you believe in the Bible? If you don't believe in the Bible, then we don't need to go back and forth. I'm not trying to have a debate
no, but
about
even
that.
without the Bible, you're trying to put it's like one religion. Do you know there's religions that have and they also have their own book where they have multiple wives? So you
That's
can
why I said, do you believe in the Bible? If you didn't, be May, it's
I
okay.
might not
You
believe in
believe
the
what you
Bible you're
want. I just
reading.
didn't want to go a back and forth with
Okay.
your belief and my belief. That's irrelevant. We just believe what we believe, right? That's where I'm coming from, is what I'm saying. But if you're not coming from there, we won't be on the same plane. We won't be speaking the same language, and that's why I ended it. No problem.
I went to church my entire life, so if you want to speak about the Bible, we sure can. But what's it called? Even when I'm speaking on that, I'm talking. You're trying to say even with coding and how DNA is. If that wasn't how the DNA is, that's natural coding that people try to change with people. You know what I mean? And you can't just look. I understand. You have your own beliefs, but I look at the world in a whole. You know, and if you look at how something is acting and then you try to say that that's not what it is based off text, I feel like that's like not saying you personally, you know what I mean? I don't want to be disrespectful, but for me,
Yeah, I
I
think
feel
you're
like
getting to the point of disrespect. That's why I said let's just leave it alone, because I feel how I feel. I believe in the Bible, That's my right to do that. I don't want to hear someone else telling me that I'm believing in just text. So I'm just saying, I don't want to think of you being disrespectful. So I landed. We don't have to go back and forth, right? That's it for me.
It
I
was just
got
a conversation, but okay.
I respect the good book. They call me, pick me. So I just want to have a little 2-second conversation with you about that. You said what now? You said one man supposed to be with one woman.
Testament, God
Well,
expects us.
hold on. Well, hold on. You say what now? You say the what testament?
New Testament, one
Okay,
man,
what
one
about?
woman.
Hold on. Let's have a conversation. What about the Old Testament?
The Old Testament, we don't live by the Old Testament. That's the old law.
Listen, what's the purpose of the New Testament in your eyes?
The New Testament is how we're living today.
No,
Jesus
no,
came
no.
and fulfilled.
Okay, I'm trying to. I
That's
don't
right.
want to.
That's a fact. Jesus bought the new word. He bought the new
I
book.
want to. Okay, is it possible that the Old Testament was wrong?
No.
It's not. Oh, wait a minute. We
That's why I
trying to
don't want
talk.
to get into a back and forth about it. If we don't agree, we don't agree.
We not getting into a back and forth. I'm trying to be educated. So is it okay for me to? Because I respect it. I'm trying to be educated about you know the Bible, the Old Testament, the New Testament. So if the Old Testament wasn't wrong, what's the purpose of the New Testament? I'm asking you, sister.
I never said the Old Testament. You said if the Old Testament wasn't what?
Wasn't wrong.
No,
You
it's
said
not
what?
wrong. The
So
New
what's
Testament is a fulfillment. Jesus Christ came. Jesus Christ died for us in our sins. So he fulfilled everything from what was in the Old Testament. All of those things that we were doing, all of the signs that God was showing us to show that he was real and that, the burning bush for us to see, all of that's been fulfilled. Because once his son died and left us with the Holy Spirit, all of that has been fulfilled, and we now live under grace and we live under the New Testament.
That's
right?
right. That's a fact.
So, okay. So you had brought up Jesus Christ. Can you tell me what was going on with Jesus the first 13 years of his life?
What do you mean, what was going on with him?
What was going on? What was Jesus doing the first 13 years of his life?
He
Oh,
was living in Nazareth with his parents, his mother. You know what I'm saying?
I was just asking, do you guys know where that information is at?
I can't say that I can tell you from day 1 to 13 exactly what he was doing, and I don't want to pretend to be speaking on something that
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. All right.
He was growing. He was growing to reach his prophecy to when he turned 33. So he was living like a normal child. He was learning. He was learning how to do
You
things in
know that? You
Nazareth.
know that, or you assuming that?
No, this is yeah. So we could get off the topic, but I could go deep into you want.
No.
Now I
I
can tell
liked
you what
it.
he
I
was
liked
doing.
it. I
And
liked it.
by the time he turned 33, and that's when he was, well, before 33, when he left Nazareth and he started preaching the gospel, and the prophecy was going to be fulfilled because he knew that he was about to have that gruesome death. He knew everything because he was all human and divine at the same time. So I
I
could
liked it. I like that they picked me when she brought that up because I like people that's able to engage without, it having to go a certain way. And I like to learn. I like to listen and learn. But we can move around unless we have
But don't
unless we can.
forget the key point she told everybody, and I want everybody to listen to on this panel to what she said. Jesus Christ brought that helper, and that helper is the Spirit that's able to transform you. And listen, when I told you I spent 4 years in solitary, the whole thing was accumulated to 18 years in prison. So if he transformed me, and I know he had some touches on you because you from Chicago, where that was the unalivened capital. So the stories you tell, I probably can relate to a lot of what you went through. And so the transformation is something I embody, and I love Jesus Christ for that.